Maybe we should help people understand that there are four types of markets in the world: developed, emerging, frontier, and exotic frontier.
Well, it's a good definition in that developed markets are obviously the ones that are in the major economies and in the Morgan Stanley Capital International World Index. Then you have the major emerging markets, what's been called the BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, which are in the MSCI emerging market. Then you have the frontier markets we've been talking about. And lastly, you have the exotic frontier markets, which are countries like Saudi Arabia or Myanmar, which used to be Burma, or Iran, where either foreigners aren't allowed to invest, or there are sanctions that prevent foreigners investing, or, as in Myanmar's case, you don't have a stock market. But they're still large economies with growing rapidly in many cases. Saudi has a 300 billion market capitalization, and there's lots of talk at the moment that they're actually going to open it up to foreigners. So there are a number of ways you can play this.
So the change in status in Saudi Arabia would mean a change in status of the type of market we would call them. They would eventually become a frontier market.
Well, they're a frontier market now, it's just not one that you can buy directly.
Right.
So if Saudi did allow foreigners to buy Saudi shares, then they'd automatically become the biggest market in the frontier index, and they'd actually increase the size of the frontier markets at one bound. They'd almost double what they are now. But a number of other frontier market countries actually choose a different route, which is to list their stocks on established stock exchanges. So, for example, the three biggest Nigerian banks are listed in London. Most of the Kazakh companies, resource companies and the like, are listed in London. So you can actually buy some of these frontier market companies through an established developed market, or through what's called an American depository receipt in New York, which is local shares which are packaged up into a US dollar denominated security.